Till the prior lecture, we had seen how the old couple, the wicked couple, kills the dog just because the dog doesn't find gold for them. And where the dog starts digging, they find the remains of a dead cat. So they kill it and put the dead body of the dog in the pit which was dug by them, and then they cover it with mud. Now let's see further what happens. The owner of the dog heard of the death of his pet, and mourning for him as if he had been his own child, went at night under the pine tree. That dog was, they were too attached with that dog, so they thought that it was to be their child only. So he was crying a lot and he was feeling a lot more sad because he was killed by the people. So he goes to the pine tree and he keeps on crying. He set up some bamboo tubes in the ground, such as are used for before tombs, in which he put fresh flowers. Now what he does is, bamboo sticks are hollow, so he put where the carcass of the body of the animal lay. He dug into the ground these bamboo tubes, and inside the bamboo tubes he put flowers to show his respect towards the gone dog. Then he laid a cup of water and a tray of food on the grave and burned several costly sticks of incense. Incense sticks are agarbatti, which give you a nice fragrance. Now, this is the way he wanted to show his respect towards the gone soul over there. He put food because they used to feed him with the chopsticks, like they were feeding his own child, right? Their own child. So he keeps all those things, and then he burns the incense sticks also over there. He mourned a great while over his pet, calling him many dear names as if he were alive. So when you have a pet, you have different names by which you call it. And it's usually because it comes out of love what you have for the animal. So you called out names as if he were to be alive and roaming around. That night the spirit of the dog appeared to him in a dream and said, "Cut down the pine tree over my grave and make from it a mortar for your rice pastry and a mill for your bean sauce." Now mortar is something, a circular part of the wood will be taken, and then a hole will be cut in a U shape. So you can use a long piece of wood and then ground something when you put inside it. Like in Hindi you have Oakley, so that kind of a shape would be made. So he tells him, the tree under which I was dug, do one thing, you cut the tree and you make a mortar and make a mill, a grinding mill, and make your pastries over there. Bean sauce and pastry over there. So the old man chopped down the tree and cut out of the middle of the trunk a section of about 2 feet long. So from the middle part only you can make that bigger mortar and the mill. With great labor, partly by fire, partly by the chisel, he scraped out a hollow piece as big as a small bull. So chisel is again a tool of this shape. This chisel is used actually by furniture makers. So if you have to chalk out and slowly you have to dig into and then make a very defined shape with a hammer and a chisel, you can make it. He then made a long handled hammer of wood, such as it is used for pounding rice. Now, अगर आपने देखा होगा, this is kind of a shape it is in, and it's got a long, usually villagers ground with this only. Now they put over here, a hollow part is there inside, they put over here the chilies and the masalas and they ground to a fine powder over there. So that is what he is talking about. He then made a long-handled hammer of wood, such as it is used for pounding rice. When New Year's time drew near, he wished to make some rice pastry. So they were good at it. They knew that they can make a nice rice pastry, and New Year they would sell it also very nicely. When the rice was all boiled, Granny put it into the mortar. The old man lifted his hammer to pound the mass into dough, and the blows fell heavy and fast till the pastry was all ready for baking. So that's the process of making the pastry. आप पका हुआ चावल लो and then you put it inside this and continuously heat it so it becomes a dough. Dough मतलब आटे के जैसे बन जाता है, and from that you can make the pastry by baking it. Suddenly the whole mass turned into a heap of gold coins. What were they making? They were trying to make dough to make the rice pastry, and what did it turn into? It turned into a heap of gold coins. When the old woman took the hand mill and filling it with beans began to grind, the gold dropped like rain. She wanted to make the bean sauce. She took the bean to grind over it. That also, from there also gold started coming out. Meanwhile, the envious neighbor, they were jealous, peeped in at the window when the boiled beans were being ground. So they wanted to see what these old people are doing. Goody me, cried the old hag as he saw each dripping of sauce turning into yellow gold, until in a few minutes the tub under the mill was full of shining mass of gold. So when the old lady, the good one, was trying to ground the soya beans कुछ नहीं थे, बरबटी के दाने होते, like big ones. So if you eat it, so when she was trying to ground that, and the water, like the material which was coming out of it, slowly started turning into gold, and this is the sight which those wicked neighbors saw. So the old couple became rich again. The next day, the stingy and wicked neighbor came and borrowed the mortar and magic mill. Again, they wanted to intervene to take gold. So they came asking them to lend out the mortar and the mill to them. They also wanted gold. Stingy means conjuice, okay? They filled one with boiled rice and the other with beans. Then the old woman began to pound and the man began to pound and the woman to grind. But at the first blow and turn, the pastry and sauce turned into a foul mass of worms. When these two people started doing the same process with the good old couple had done, for them it turned into gold. For them, these people, it turned into worms. Worms matlab keede. Still more angry at this, they chopped the mill into pieces to use as firewood. Now they got so angry that they burnt the mill and the mortar until it turned to ashes. Not long after that, the good old man dreamed again, and the spirit of the dog spoke to him, telling him how the wicked people had burned the mill made from the pine tree. So this dog used to come in the dream of the old man and used to tell him what is to be done then. Take the ashes of the mill. Now he said, they burnt it, right? Now you take the ashes of that mill, the leftover pieces of wood, whatever has turned into ashes, you take those ashes. Sprinkle them on the withered trees and they will bloom again, said the dog spirit. So they said, bring that ash and sprinkle him on the withered trees. Matlab doesn't have a leaf on it, almost there. You sprinkle it on them. They will bloom again. That's the title, the ashes that made the trees bloom. The old man awoke and went at once to his wicked neighbor's house, where he found the miserable old pair sitting at the edge of their square fireplace in the middle of the floor, smoking and spinning. So they were sitting beside the fireplace because it was cold. The fire was still burning in the fireplace. So he asked them, could I take the ashes at least, whatever left of the mortar and the mill? From time to time they warmed their hands and feet with the blaze of some bits of the mill, while behind them lie a pile of the broken pieces. How can somebody be so wicked? So wicked is a question. So I will be teaching in the next part, the final part of the story. I will be sending you the question and answers. Either write on a sheet of paper and stick it in your textbook, or you can write it in your notebook, or you can mark it. Marking, if it is not possible over here, then only I'll give it to you in written form. You can write in the textbook as well. Anything in accordance to your convenience, you do it. I'm not forcing you to do anything, but you have to learn the question and answers. Thank you.